Everyone, welcome to today's Crypto Blast with myself and Cam from Institutional Fi. As usual, Cam will be going through all the latest news and flows, pricing, etc., impacting crypto markets with a more leaning towards the adults in the room with crypto. So less meme coins, more institutional take up, regulatory news, etc., etc. But before we go any further, I'll get the legals out of the way. Nothing discussed on the Spaces session constitute trading or investment advice or infers any kind of endorsement by PIQ, myself, Ryan Paisley, Institutional Fi, or indeed Cam. Speaking of Cam, how are you?
Very well, Ryan. How are you?
I'm all right now. I'm trying to sort out how I use Podbeam. It's still very new to me, but we're getting there.
If you're if you're listening on the recording, nothing happened. It was amazing.
Exactly. This is the first time we tried it, not the second time.
Yeah. Yeah. No, very well. And just having a look at the crypto markets, you can have a little bit of a smile on your face today. So we'll get underway with chatting about the developments in the space. So since Friday, if you've not really been keeping up with everything, since Friday, Bitcoin has rallied more than 7%, climbing from $108,700 to, I'm gonna have to just refresh my notes because we're again moving toward the upside, $116,720, a high of day today as we currently are recording this podcast. Not Spaces calling them all. So this surge comes off the back of an 8% pullback in the prior week, suggesting that buyers are attempting to reclaim momentum as we start Q4, which, I'm sure everybody does know, historically crypto's strongest quarter is Q4. October, exactly that. And Ethereum has mirrored the rally of that Bitcoin has set following its 8% lows from last week, now trading at $4,300, but staring at key resistance around August's former support band. Whether ETH can break higher could determine if, like Ryan just mentioned, October lives up to that reputation or if it falters quite early. If we have a little look over to the ETFs flows from yesterday, September 30th, spot Bitcoin ETF saw a total net inflow of $430 million, while none of the 12 ETFs saw a net outflow. Very, very positive. Spot Ethereum ETFs recorded a total net inflow of $127 million, while none of the 9 ETFs, again, saw any net outflows on the day. So a very positive
massively
to September. If we look down the altcoin sector, I'm just going to have to check the live prices because things have rapidly changed since I created my notes this morning. XRP trading at $2.94, up 3% over the last 24 hours. BNB back over $1,000, trading at $1,022, up 1% over the last 24 hours. And Solana really being the main contender here with performance-wise. $217, up 5% over the last 24 hours. Just why that is, well, we'll get onto that in just a moment. Looking down the altcoin sector a little bit further, notably, we can see that the pump token for pump.fun has risen over 22%. Now, why are we talking about this on the Crypto Blast? Because we typically steer away from the meme coin sector. Well, this came in after Kathy Woods reposted a post on X about Pump Fun's streaming platform and mentioned it could change the course for content creators going forward. So very, a notable name in the investment space.
Do we have any idea if she's involved in Pump Fun?
I do not know, but you'd have to kind of look beyond.
Yeah, you would think if she's got a horse in this race to be saying that.
I'm just wondering how. That would be my only. That would be my only question. Exactly how has she got any exposure?
Yeah.
Because Pump Fun has certainly not got a very reputable reputation in the space. It's a very degenerate platform that just launches meme coins and has been shut down several times. In fact, you can't even go on the website in the UK. And I believe we mentioned this before a few months back. The only places in the world where pump.fun is banned is the UK, Russia, and somewhere, I think it's like Kazakhstan. So it's quite an elite name that's banned the website there. So so a little bit of due diligence might be worth on that one. If we jump across to the news and the headlines over the last day or so, so crypto exchange Kraken has completed a $500 million funding round at a $15 billion valuation. The round had no single lead investor and was structured by Kraken itself. The support funds will support Kraken's expansion and IPO plans, with the company currently targeting a 2026 listing. According to Crypto in America, Vanguard is preparing to offer its clients access to third-party crypto ETFs on its brokerage platform. Vanguard has no plans to launch its own crypto products, but is considering adding select external ETFs. The timeline and the specific products remain undecided. And if you're listening to this story and you're wondering why is that such a big deal, well, multiple $1 trillion of assets under management, and they have a very strong reputation to being anti-crypto. So this is essentially a 180-degree turnaround into starting to accept exposure to crypto products for their customers. Swift is collaborating with over a dozen global banks, including BNP Paribas and BNY Mellon, to test migrating its payment messaging system onto the blockchain using Linear, an Ethereum Layer 2 network developed by Consensus. The project remains in development and aims to enable a technological transformation of the international interbank payment system. And a news story that seemingly went under most of the radars over the last couple of days, but that's quite key development in the space, I would suggest. SoftBank and ARK Investments Management are in early talks with Tether Holdings to participate in its latest major funding round, according to Bloomberg. People familiar with the matter said that this would mark Tether's largest external fundraising to date, potentially valuing the company as high as $500 million and placing it amongst the world's most highly valued private firms. Circle, the issuer of USDC, plans to introduce an on-chain refund mechanism on its institutional ARK blockchain to serve banks and treasury teams. The new refund protocol allows distributed payments to be held in escrow and resolved by an authorized arbiter, enabling refunds or counterparty payments on-chain in cases of fraud or dispute. Circle says the design balances instant settlement with compliance, addressing regulatory demands on stablecoin issuers. It's kind of an interesting development with Circle pushing this. Being able to say, well, hold on a minute, if you push your funds through USDC, we actually have the right to take those funds back at any time. It raises questions in terms of, the decentralized nature of crypto. This is very much onboarding into traditional, traditional markets, traditional structures and regulation. So not a surprise, especially coming from Circle, because this is exactly what they set out to do. Well, one of our good friends from AlphaFix asked me the other day, why does Tether have such a larger market share than Circle? And other than first mover advantage, Circle have really gone about building their product to be compliant, essentially globally. So they're under MiCA, so they're in Europe. Tether isn't in Europe. Yeah, and they're in US, they're in the UK. They're very, very much structurally compliant. So this update shouldn't be surprising to people who use USDC, as they are very much on the side of being being compliant under different jurisdictions and regulators. So moving across, according to Bloomberg, Qatar National Bank has adopted JP Morgan's blockchain platform to process US dollar corporate payments for its Qatar-based bank, with the integration of JP Morgan's Kinexys digital payment system. QNB can now handle USD payments for local business clients within minutes, 24/7, according to the statement of address. According to Eleanor Terrett, the SEC has requested issuers of spot ETFs for LTC, XRP, Solana, and ADA and Doge to withdraw their 19B4 filings following the approval of the generic listing standards, which replaced the need for individual filings. Withdrawals are expected to begin as early this week, and we've already started to see the withdrawal of some of those. Following along from this story, Bloomberg ETF analyst Eric Balknes said that the approval odds for spot crypto ETFs are now essentially at 100%.
Wow.
He explained that the new, exactly.
I'll be honest, that's not what you want to hear, though. You want some kind of quality control going through.
So he explained that the new generic listing standards for make these 19B4 filings and their review clock meaningless, leaving the S1 filings awaiting formal clearance from the SEC. So yeah, it does kind of open the floodgates to crypto ETFs. Now, we mentioned earlier that we'd cover why Solana is potentially being outperforming the market so much so, and that is basically Solana ETFs are next up on the roadmap. And given the new generic listing standards, and they've been amended 4 times. So obviously the SEC have been, with the issues of the ETFs, been in communications and helping them make the needed adjustments. 4 times, they're coming up to their deadline within the week. So the approval is literally pending. It could be any day. We could see him by the end of this week for Solana ETF coming to the market. Binance has officially launched its crypto as a service CAAS white label solution for institutional clients. The product offers licensed banks, brokers, and exchange infrastructures and liquidity support, including internalizing trading, custody, and compliance, fiat on and off ramps, and market access. So that's a big deal. I'm surprised that Binance hadn't launched that sooner, but definitely the right time to launch a CAAS product. According to Blockspace, and this is an interesting story, according to Blockspace, ICE in America on September 29th raided the Lone Star Dream Bitcoin mining site in Texas, targeting an ASIC repair center run by ADW Tech, an affiliate of Bitmain, the world's largest Bitcoin mining rig maker. The action is linked to a broader federal review of ASIC imports as US agencies probe whether a semiconductor firm tied to Bitmain CEO violated export controls. So an investigation going there. Bitmain is a publicly listed company, I believe trading on the NASDAQ. So I've not taken a look at their share prices, but no doubt there may be some